Former U.S. Secretary of State and Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton compared former President Donald Trump's rally to a Hitler rally and seemingly suggested that they used a salute similar to that of Nazis. Let's watch.
Trying to figure out how did people get basically drawn in by Hitler? How did that happen? And I'd watch newsreels and I'd see this guy standing up there ranting and raving and people shouting and raising their arms. I thought, what's happened to these people? Why did they believe that? You saw the rally in Ohio the other night. Trump is there ranting and raving for more than an hour, and you have these rows of young men with their arms raised.
Yeah, so I saw the footage that people have been talking about regarding this rally. It's just not a Nazi salute. People raise their arms. It's not a Nazi salute. So that's some misinformation. I wonder if the misinformation czars who run our society and want to prevent you from saying anything wrong are going to fact check that one. I'm sure they'll get around to that anytime now.
It's never really a good look to play around with facts when you're just so you can call someone a Nazi or
the liberals are in the media, mainstream media people are obsessed with the hand gesture. Remember the OK sign thing? Right. We're like, yes, it is true, technically, that some far-right, fascist, alt-right people use the OK sign, this sign to signal far-right. Right, now I'm going to be clipped and accused of doing it. I am demonstrating it. I'm not using it.
Right.
Some people do that. Now, I'm just making up a number here, but 97% of the people who make the OK sign have no idea that a small number of people associate with Nazism and are not doing it for that reason.
Right.
So if you're just take random photos of people doing it, it's not why they're doing it. And then also of the people doing it with some knowledge, they're actually doing it to troll and annoy people, the mainstream media liberals who think it's a side. So small number, very small number.
Obviously the Zig Heil is different, but what you're saying, and I haven't seen the footage, but you're saying that they did not have the right arm raised up with their hand like that. And,
there's a certain. I'm not going to do that one on screen because that one is a known entity. Yes. If you're doing that willfully, and I'm sure Richard Spencer type people have in the past done that at rallies. But allegedly, I don't know if he specifically did, but that would not be out of character for him or his movement. For his previous now, I think actually even now Richard Spencer has. Have you heard that story that he has disassociated himself from alt-right fascism? So I think that came to light because he signed up for a dating profile, and someone was like, "You're that? Are you that Richard Spencer?" And he admitted to the media that yes, that is him, but he doesn't want to be associated with that.
Right, at least for dating. Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, going back to Hillary Clinton.
He kept asking me to go to German restaurants. It was really weird. Or Austrian.
I don't want to go. I wouldn't want to go to. I have a lot of. We've been talking about my Italian heritage on the show, but I also have German ancestry. I much prefer the Italian cuisine. I was raised on Italian cooking. As for Hillary Clinton, look, she has every right to criticize Trump saying ridiculous things at rallies. I'm sure the things he says were ridiculous, but it's her kind of pathological need to explain her loss in terms of this is just like when Hitler came to power, or it's Russia's fault, or those kinds of things. It's never her fault.
Bernie Bros.
It's misogyny, it's Russia, it's the rise of fascism. It's not people just not liking her.
Right, and of course, if you want to actually look at what she brought up, which is how does someone like Hitler rise to power, there were economic conditions that made people much more disposed to listening to a demagogue like Hitler. So, of course, the America is already great again is actually a great way, I think, to foster kind of right-wing radicalism because people feel like they're not being heard.
Oh, when they're being told by Democrats that, what do you mean? America's already great, and that's not the experience some people are having due to their economic condition.
I think it's one of the things that made people turn to Trump. Now, again, I'm not saying he's Hitlerian. I think it's a pretty dangerous comparison to make, but to the extent of why demagogues are more or less kind of successful, of course, the Treaty of Versailles played a big role. That humiliation played a big role in Hitler's rise. The economic devastation in Germany played a big role too. So, but it's funny. I bring that up, I guess, because these are the same people who laugh off the idea of economic anxiety playing any role. But if you actually want to use Hitler as a teachable moment, that is one of the big things.
Yeah, absolutely. But the mainstream media hates when you say that.
And also,
it was all, and of course, it was substantially about racism, a lot of racism, obviously involved in the Holocaust. We should not.
You can't.
Nobody is ignoring that this was a racist regime that came to power and annihilated an entire culture, ethnicity, race, etc. Yes.
Right.
No one
is
is saying
pretending
that's not
that it's
the
economic
case.
stuff alone. Right. But the question is, what makes what environments make this that much more conducive?
Right.
To things like the leader like that. And also, I mean, Hillary, do you really have to do this again? You already did the basket of deplorables. It's like, do you want to just write off? I guess she does.
She does. That's how she legitimately feels about it.
Right, because then she doesn't,
like
you said, there's nothing, she did nothing wrong.
Right.
It's just all these pathological
Or it's Russia,
Nazis.
or it's people were misled. Right. People were tricked by misinformation.
Yes.
People were duped. It wasn't, it's like, I mean, she comes close to, and I think actually just has in the past done the thing you're not allowed to do. You're not supposed to do on social media. You can get in trouble for of denying the legitimacy of the election results.
Right.
She flirts with that all the time. She said it's Tulsi Gabbard's fault. She said her insistence that it's nefarious Russian influence hoodwinked people, prevented people from voting who they would have voted for her, but but because something illegitimate happened, they didn't.
It has nothing to do with her like record high unfavorability ratings.
Or like not giving enough speeches in Michigan.
Yeah, right. Well, Putin closed down the airport in Michigan and Wisconsin.
Putin got a hold of her speaking schedule, added a couple more stops in states she was already going to win by record margins, and said, no, don't go to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, whatever you do,
get
Hillary.
diverted.
Yeah, niet Pennsylvania.
Niet Pennsylvania, which is it's just so funny. The obsession with that as the explanation. Time and time again, and then she still keeps talking about it. She still keeps talking about it. And you're not supposed to do that. Again, the Trump's claims about an illegitimate election, which are false, are constantly derided, obsessively derided by mainstream institutions, by the media, by tech platforms, etc. And
not just derided, but they try to criminalize it.
Yeah, they come virtually criminalized. Yeah. So for her to continue to do that, I'm not saying it's the same thing, but to call into question her own loss is it's so rich. It's so rich.
It really is. You can't make it up.
Well, we will have an infinite amount of rising next. Stay tuned. We're getting a little cute here. See you in a minute.